Further debate? I recognize member from Ottawa South.
Thank you very much, Speaker, and I'll be sharing my time with the member from Scarborough-Guildwood. And I'll just say at the outset, I will not be supporting Bill 195. Bill 195 overrides broad legislative oversight measures that protect all Ontarians. The government is now proposing in Bill 195 to supersede or overwrite a law that's currently in place for emergencies in Ontario, a law that currently works. The government has not made a case as to why Bill 195 is needed or advisable, and why the Emergency Act needs to be overridden. They simply haven't made that case. At no point in this sitting has there ever been any delay, like a reasoned amendment or undue debate, over the Emergency Act. Never. Not once. It has passed every time it came up in less than a couple of hours debate, which is lightning speed in this place. And it happened because that's what Ontarians expected of us in this emergency. There has been cooperation from members on all sides of this House. Even the member from Lanark, Frontenac, Kingston has been reasonable in his opposition. As passionate as he feels, we haven't had a filibuster, right? And that could have happened because he's done it before. So there's a lot of cooperation here, Speaker. The Emergency Act gives the Ontario government extraordinary powers that, in fact, limit people's constitutional rights. That's why we come back to this legislature every 30 days to debate and extend it so that we can ask questions and speak on behalf of all of our constituents. The use of emergency powers affect the rights of every Ontarian, and that's why it needs to come back to all of us. Every member, just like every Ontarian, has the right to know the reasons why the government is taking these actions and to have their voice heard. What Bill 195 proposes is to remove that oversight and put that oversight into a select committee that meets monthly outside of this room, that the Premier can go to if he wants to. He can send the minister. The Premier can delegate a minister to amend orders without Cabinet approval. Less than 10% of the members of this legislature are going to be on the Select Committee. It'll meet once a month for a couple of hours. The government will have the majority on the committee, and they'll write a report. And the opposition may write a dissenting report, and then after a couple of weeks or a month, the report will be brought back to this legislature and tabled, and then it'll go on a shelf. That's what happens. We all know that. What's discussed in this committee won't be discussed in this legislature, where it needs to be. The overwhelming majority of members of this House will not have a say, whatever side you sit on. And here's why this is important. Think about this. Here's what emergency powers mean and what we've already seen. We've closed people's schools. We've closed their churches, their mosques, their synagogues, their temples, their businesses. We've closed their places of work. We've limited gatherings of people. Actually limited how many people you can have in your backyard. We've put restrictions on their travel. We've restricted access to essential caregivers and family members to their loved ones in hospitals, long-term care homes, retirement homes, group homes. And there's an incredible amount of pain and suffering that's happened as a result of that. We've closed daycares. We've overridden collective agreements, telling people where and when they have to work, what shift, overridden seniority. And then, to top it all off, we've assigned fines and sanctions if people don't comply. Those are all extraordinary measures. I don't think we can imagine those measures other than the context we're in. And whether we're in this context or not, those measures still override people's constitutional rights, all of our rights. Ontarians put their trust in us so we could take the necessary action to reduce the spread of COVID-19 and prepare ourselves to better manage the risks associated with the virus. And here's the thing. The government can still amend orders on all of those things I've just mentioned. They have the same powers. They say they're limiting it. A little. Not very much. All of those things.